there and welcome.
Hello there.
How are you doing?
I can't complain, man.
Can't
Getting off
complain.
the
Yeah.
getting off the high ground, man, of some awesome stuff that took me back in time.
Yeah, it's been great. Yeah. So, see anything interesting over the last 24 hours?
Yeah, yeah, right. It's kind of blurred into one. Oh man.
Exactly. Yeah. So, what I was going to do is go break down, each almost, well, not scene by scene, but
Yeah,
as best as we can. So, that's what I do. So, I thought it's interesting that they, instead of giving them titles, that they give them parts, like part one and then part
yeah,
two. What you think about that?
yeah. It's pretty good. I know we only got six to go on. Um, so yeah, I like it. Kind of like that because it sometimes Star Wars fans, see like a title like, what does that mean? Is that going to mean anything? Oh, that's what that means. Okay, so it kind of leaves you a little bit of the mysterious stuff, and you go like, I don't know what to expect, and bam, certain stuff happens. Like,
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, I thought I'd be doing with this chat in our chat, and hopefully we can get more people to join in. So speaking of which, we got Darth Maximus. Hey, what's up there?
hey man,
Feel free to pop in. Anybody, the link is at the top of the chat bar. If anybody wants to chime in, feel free to do so. We're just gonna make this a nice, just an easy walkthrough of each episode.
awesome.
So, first episode, part one.
Mm.
Now, I thought it was so cool that they introduced by recapping the prequels. How was that?
Dude, I mean, it
That
was
was,
surreal for me because we like a couple of my friends were like we were like, okay, before the time skip and everything like that, and when they're like, hey, we're gonna release a little bit early, we're gonna watch Revenge of the Sith and everything. So I literally did just seen that, but it was so cool seeing like all of it combined into one, and
oh,
then
yeah.
flooded into that, and you're just like, oh yeah, it felt like a fan edit, like a
It
montage of stuff like
was.
that, and it was cool seeing because I love the fact that people are really appreciating prequel stuff. That's good enough for me. I love that, and just seeing that, and then going right into it, and you're just like, oh, I remember this. I grew up with
Yeah.
this.
Oh, I know. Exactly. Yeah. So then after that recap, that was like good. That took a good intro. I mean, it was, I believe, if memory serves me right, it was like 6 minutes of prequel recap,
Yeah,
which,
man.
yeah, but hey, I'll take it. It was great. It was wonderful. So then we start off, there's these younglings at the Jedi Temple
Ooh.
before Order 66 comes out. Now, I watched it last night, and then I watched it again this morning prepping for the show, and I was like, that one girl that they first show, that youngling, I believe that is Reva,
Mm-hmm.
who we will get to later on.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Wouldn't surprise me if that's who she is, and that she's the one
So,
who one of the younglings that experienced that ordeal.
mm-hmm.
But
Yeah,
and
man. Oh,
so
go ahead.
yeah, and so that's interesting. So I mean, that's just, I could be wrong. Who knows? Uh, but
Yeah.
next scene, we are on Tatooine, the oh so popular location.
The twin sons of Tatooine. Yes.
Yep. You get the Inquisitors. They come there. They're searching for the Jedi, and this is where we are introduced to Reva and the
Mhm.
tactic that she did to try to sniff out a Jedi, and they do.
Yeah. I didn't expect that, honestly. I didn't expect there'd be another one hanging out. Um, right on, man. The the I just did. I knew, obviously there's been many of legends and canon and stuff like that, whether it be crate or something like that. But to have like another one pop up on there, I really didn't expect that. I thought they were just there for that, which makes sense because no one should kind of know where Kenobi is at the moment until he like
Right.
resurfaces and stuff like that. So to see like another like, oh, and when he spoilers, stops the dagger and everything like that, and you're just like, oh, and then
Yeah.
everything like that, and it was really cool. I mean, obviously, there's more survivors of Order 66 out there, but yeah, seeing
Yeah.
that he got away, so you're just like, okay, well, maybe there's hope for him, and then later that, yeah, but it
Oh, I
was
know.
cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, then we can just see how Riva is just. You can just see she's setting the tone. She's obsessed with finding Obi-Wan for some
Mm.
reason. I mean, she must obviously have a history or something.
I think I have a good inkling of what, and again, um, I I yeah, the heads up for me is I stay away from leaks or spoilers or anything like that. That's a big no-no for me. I want to enjoy this, fresh out of it and everything like that, and it's been a nightmare to try to dodge that. So I know nothing about anything about that, but I love how that kind of sets up, and what we're talking about the beginning and everything with Operation Nightfall Order 66 when Lord Vader advances on the temple for Revenge of the Sith, walking up the stairs and everything. You see, Master Skywalker, that's too many of them. What am I going to do?
Yeah.
So the Padawan that did survive, I'm 99% sure that's Riva. Yeah, Riva.
Yeah, I believe they
Her,
called it
her.
Riva.
Yeah, right. So her. So like, my thing in my head is okay. Most times when it comes to cases of kids, if she didn't get a proper upbringing, um, maybe this is one that her, Anakin, and Ahsoka, or some others rescued during the Clone Wars, or maybe common cases of kids looking up to people and abandonment issues and stuff like that. So probably something like that guy's great and everything like that, the negotiator and everything, the Jedi general and everything like that, and where are you going? I got to go to Utapau for something. I don't know what it is, and then Operation Nightfall Order 66 happens. Everything just goes down the drain,
Yeah.
and dark side corruption and stuff like that. So it'd be a pretty interesting take of she used to look up to him, and now she's trying to gun for that because of it's like why, stuff like that, and
Mm-hmm.
how would that go?
Right. Yeah. So, yeah. So her character really set the tone for her going into the in the other scenes down the line of the episodes. So now we see Obi-Wan working at what appears to be some sort of meat packing
Yeah.
factory. He's basically doing his daily routine. He works there. He takes public transport. What I believe it's got to be Mos Eisley or Anchorhead,
Hmm.
and takes his EOP and heads back to his home, which is basically a cave. Now, I
Yeah.
find it interesting that they have him situated in a cave, whereas in A New Hope, he's in a different home.
Yeah, he hasn't got there yet. I think he's
No,
just gonna, when he gets to the complete Ben Alec Guinness persona, I think he's got to work to that. I think he's just got to, because right now he's just completely cut off, kind of that from the beginning, like defeated, just PTSD from, and just trying to, watch Luke and everything like that from
oh
safe
yeah,
distance and stuff. I think he'll get that hut and everything like that. But I did like the location of that because it looked really good, and
Bill,
there are like great Easter eggs in it. The belt that the Jawa was doing, that was his old, one from the war. If you look very closely, like his Revenge of the Sith one, and like when he was looking at this, I don't know, so great, and him like talking. he even put like cadences of even more like emphasis of Sir Alec Guinness when he was talking. And throughout the show, he's constantly, doing this more, which I'm like, oh man, that's awesome. And
Yeah, so many Easter eggs in there, and then of course he sees that toy starship that
oh
he wants to get
man,
to Luke. He's bartering with the Jawa. I believe the Jawa's name was Tika, and the Jawa's like intrigued and with Jedi artifacts, but of course Obi-Wan he says the same line that he said back in New Hope: Jedi are all but extinct.
yep, man, that T-16 Skyhopper back so many memories from me watching like the original
Oh, I know.
and everything like that, and seeing that, and then going through all that trouble for that, and then you're just like, Uncle Owen, what gives, man?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean it's quite interesting. Yeah, he takes that and drops it off um, at the homestead where Owen lives, and then that night he's sleeping, has
Oh man,
flashback dreams.
one of my favorite
Uh,
moments.
yeah, and then of course it wakens him up, and he's trying to commune with Qui-Gon Jinn, because
Mhm.
after all, Yoda did say he was going to have training for him. So I thought that's interesting. That's like, okay, it's been 10 years and Qui-Gon has not been able to reach out to him through the Force, and
Not yet.
not yet. So I think it's going to happen.
Oh
It's going
yeah,
to happen. I believe it's going to happen maybe towards the end of maybe the last two episodes.
yeah. Yep. I have, yeah, like yeah. The two things on that one for mine was well, one, I'm automatically as soon as I see you know, Liam Nielsen, I'm like, I need to stop and everything like that because I loved him. He was awesome. And no, between that and yeah, I don't think that he can't corporealize until A New Hope. There was a book from a certain point of view where actually Qui-Gon Jinn could corporealize, and he actually does get to that point. It's right before A New Hope. Well, actually, during A New Hope, whenever Luke goes off to, wait, Luke, it's too dangerous and everything, and like, spoilers, Aunt Beru and Owen don't have a great fate. Um,
Mhm.
so when he goes off to that in the book, from a certain point of view, Qui-Gon actually appears to him, and
Oh,
he finally manifests himself, and they have like a little chat, and just like, Master Qui-Gon, it's, very great seeing you again and everything like that. And he's like, I've been watching you and everything, and he'll be able to hear his voice, but he can't see him. So, but I think it'd be a nice thing for the audience if, whenever they do that, just for, we could see it, but Obi-Wan can't. And again, that'll cause
right.
like onion ninjas and stuff in my eyes to attack that. I'm like, ah.
Yeah, and also too, it's like when I've also wanted to get back to with when he was in his cave and watching over Lars, and we're looking at Luke. And now what I noticed on this is that when Luke was doing on top of the
Oh
hut
man.
and doing his, pretending to be a pilot. Now, did you notice that he was pretending that he was in a pod racer? Yeah.
Man, oh, that was another thing, because you gotta look at it from from Obi-Wan's point of view of, whenever he's seeing this, he's just like watching another version of like young Luke, Luke
Hmm.
being another version of Anakin, and you're
Hmm.
just like,
Well, keep
man,
in mind too that Obi-Wan was not even on Tatooine when Anakin was introduced in the Phantom Menace. Yeah,
he was back in the
Obi-Wan
ship.
was he was back on the ship, and so obviously he heard stories about how Anakin won the pod race, and
Yep.
was they were able to get the parts. So, but still, it was a nice reference. Sort of that like father like son moment.
Yeah.
So
It's great seeing that.
yeah, and then also too, after he drops off that toy for that starship toy for Luke, he's met by that Jedi, that same Jedi. Now his name is
Yeah.
Nari, and he wants Obi-Wan's help. And Obi-Wan obviously he sends him away. He says, "Go hide, stay in hiding, And I gotta be honest that when I first watched this, it's like I thought this was shades of Luke tossing his lightsaber over his shoulder in Last Jedi, like he was being bitter and grumpy. But then when I think about this in Revenge of the Sith, toward the end, when they're meeting, Yoda says, "When the time is right, we will all reconvene." And so, in Obi-Wan's mind, that was not at the right time to
Yeah.
reconvene.
Yeah. And thankfully for me, I don't, yeah, I don't think it was anything to, do with that, thankfully. I just think that Obi-Wan has been through a lot, and he has a lot of reasons for being the way that he is, and feeling defeated, PTSD from like hell and everything like that. And just, the Jedi Order 66, the clones, the Jedi Order representing his family and everything like that is just like gone, man. So yeah, just having that little moment of and even I went back because I've watched those several times because I can't get enough of it, and I'll find different stuff every once in a while. I could have swore he called, was, master, and I was like, man, if he would called him general, and then like,
Yeah,
nice little homage to the Clone Wars and stuff like that. But man, dude, yeah, like it was amazing, heartbreaking at the same time because he's like, I don't, you have me confused with someone else. I'm Ben and everything, and then
right.
finally, comes out and says it, and it's like, dude, no, and he may regret that later.
Yeah, exactly. So after that, then the next scene takes us to Alderaan, and I loved
Oh
that
man,
scene.
dude,
Oh,
yes,
that was so great. We see these servants, they're prepping what appears to be Leia. Her mom comes in saying it's time to meet the family, and only to find out it was a decoy. Kind of
yep,
shades of her mom. Her mom, when she was a
yeah,
queen, she had
yep,
decoys.
yep, man, dude, yeah, that was that a surprise to be sure, but a welcome one. When I
Yeah.
seen that, because yeah, well, one, you're like, well, Alderaan, don't get too attached, Charlie, because you know what happens to that planet. But
Mm-hmm.
it was amazing just seeing that because we've seen it in you know, I'm pretty sure we've seen it in Clone Wars and Rebels, but I know we've seen it
Yeah.
in KOTOR's cutscenes and stuff like that, and you get a good idea, and the novels and stuff like that, you get a good thing of it. Man, seeing it in like that, it was amazing. It was beautiful. It looked
Yeah.
like a metropolis, futuristic, you know,
Mm-hmm.
amazing luxury and everything, and just like,
Oh,
man,
it was great. And then we finally see Leia. She's out there running in the woods. She's climbing trees. She's
mhm.
observing shifts with her little makeshift, droid called Lola. Now, when I saw that droid, that kind of takes me back. That looked like one of those portable CD players that I used to have, before getting MP3 players and whatnot. But I
Those
cannot.
days.
That's going to definitely be a thing that they're going to try to put on the market to sell for kids as toys.
Yeah, yeah, man. I liked the ingenuity that she kind of, pre, possibly had something in there as well for her being. We all know she's force sensitive, but I love her adopting some stuff, maybe possibly from her father, like between fixing little droids and stuff like that. We are like,
Mm-hmm.
oh man, okay,
Oh
and
yeah, I never thought of that.
and just
Yeah,
little things like that, and then like just like that of just like having the outlines of like what she was gonna wear and everything. Like you see a little bit of like white, you see the hair and stuff. You think Carrie Fisher and everything. You're just like, man, pulling on my heartstrings.
Oh yeah.
Fantastic
So
acting.
definitely, yeah. So def uh next. So next scene we see Obi-Wan back. He's just doing his normal routine, goes back, gets off work, goes back to his EOP, and then all of a sudden Owen comes in, says, "Leave us alone," and then he makes that savage comment, just like you trained your father, and
Man, yeah.
you could tell
Oh,
that Owen blamed Obi-Wan for what he appears to be his death
yeah.
of
I
Anakin.
know. Yeah, know that he definitely doesn't know the whole story, but at the same time, it's like, really, dude, really, and just like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's heartbreaking to see because Obi-Wan is dealing with so much stuff at the moment and everything, and you're like,
Oh yeah,
really, dude, really, and but yeah, it was great seeing that actor reprise his role again, even though it was for something like that and everything, because they're like, man, I'm glad they got most of these guys back, and
that was great.
but yeah,
So
like that scene and him talking like, just like, when the time comes and everything, and that line and everything, you're
hmm
like,
yeah, he's and then
ugh,
Owen is like, oh yeah, it's like you just want him for his abilities. You're wanting to know if he's starting to get
yeah,
his force abilities or something like that. And
yeah,
so, but then the Inquisitors come, and of course
yeah,
they're looking, they're still looking for the Jedi, but Reva, she's again going out of line as to what she's supposed to do, and she tucks her
yeah,
blade into near Owen's neck. She slices the hand off
yes,
one of the ladies of the
yeah.
town.
So,
She's ruthless.
yeah, it's
She's
not
just,
Star Wars if someone doesn't lose a hand or a limb or anything.
oh, I know. Yeah. So in the fifth brothers, he has to take her aside and say, "Hey, you're out of line." And of course, yeah, I've heard other people saying that. Okay, well, the Inquisitors, they don't care. It's like they're on a mission, and they'll kill anyone in their path to get to their mission. So
Mm.
I kind of find that kind of strange that they're
Yeah,
holding back.
yeah, I think it's a nice little comparison to think about as well. Well, also fun little factoid. I knew even like during the makeup and stuff, I was like, I feel like I know that actor, and I look up and everything. I was like, oh, that dude was some Fast and Furious, and
Mm-hmm. Oh, I
seeing
know.
him, I was like, oh my god, brain explosion, and
Yeah, it
so
was.
cool, cool seeing him is like that one, but yeah, yeah, you gotta figure some of the moments where besides being all business no play and everything, just being these killing machines and everything like that, of their constant fear of failure because of who their drill sergeant is, not the
Oh
Grand
yeah.
Inquisitor going full
No,
metal
no.
jacket and everything like that. Arlie Ermy, Lord Vader. If you
Yep.
fail him, if you've seen the books, he is not exactly the forgiving type.
He is not the type. He is not that type.
Yeah. So it's
So
one of those things where I can look past it and just like just roll with it. Just roll with it. We'll
yeah.
see where it goes.
Fair enough. Okay. So then we go back to Alderaan. They have their family reunion, their little family gathering, and Leia's interacting with her cousins, and she thanks the droid that looks like C-3PO, but he's got blue eyes. Of course, we do see
Yeah, that was
C-3PO,
a happy surprise, man.
but I didn't see no R2 yet. I'm sure we
Yeah.
will,
Oh yeah.
but her cousins, like, you're not even the real Organa, and Leia being Leia, she's just shouting insults right
Yep.
back. I mean, she's putting him in his place. I mean,
Yeah,
she's
man.
she's got a lot of spunk,
Even at
and
that age, it's
that
nice to see
girl
that.
that they had cast as Leia, they
Brilliant.
put her fit her to a T.
Yeah, man. It was amazing, like seeing that as well, and I find that fascinating again because the original trilogy, Your Highness and stuff like that, and just you know off the cuff, doesn't take too much and everything like that for anybody. So to see the child version, and learn a little bit, not really insecurities, but just like how most kids are at that age and stuff like that, and then just add in the stuff of the possible the force sensitive stuff where she was just like could see like into her quote unquote cousin's mind of possibly using that, which I was like, I like that because that little cousin whatever guy was like, good on you, Leia, good on you.
And then I also thought was also sweet too was the nice little tender moment between Leia and Bail. So even though he's not her, she's not his real daughter. It's he's raising her like she is his own daughter, and so that was just a very nice, touching moment.
Yeah, man. Dude, seeing Jimmy Smits again. I know we've seen him in Rogue One and everything, and I loved it and everything. I was, didn't expect it then, but I was like, okay, I've heard Jimmy Smits is going to be in this, but just seeing him again, man, and pulling that off, and you're just like, I missed that guy. Missed him.
Yeah. Yep. Oh yeah, definitely. But and of course, Leia again, she runs off just to go do her own thing, and she's chased down by these kidnappers, and led by this character played by Flea, the Red Hot Chili Peppers. It's
Chili Peppers, man. I was like,
I love it.
What?
It's awesome. Yeah, I mean, because I've seen him in several movies. Back to the Future comes to my mind.
Yeah, I was looking. I was like, again, yet another actor. I was like, I feel like I should know this person. And
I
go back and look. I'm like, wait, what? Go back and look. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. But then of course I kind of thought it was a little corny when they're chasing her and she's like running through the forest and they can't catch her, and there's some guy deliberately runs into a branch or something trying to chase her down, and it was a little bit much, but I can see they wanted to make it they wanted to make the scene intense.
Yeah.
And so they finally catch her, they kidnap her. Obi-Wan gets a distress call from Bail and his wife, and that banter there, Obi-Wan's I can't do that, and he dismisses the call, which again, it makes me think, oh man, they're trying to make him all, bitter and all that, but at the same time he's like, okay, he's got a job to do himself. Bell is responsible for Leia, and Obi-Wan is responsible for Luke. So but then we see something happens as Obi-Wan's going through town. He sees Nari. Obviously he's caught by the Inquisitors and killed, and so he's kind of like not knowing what to do. He's still not going to go, but then he goes back to his cave, and you see this hooded individual. You think it's a Jedi.
Yeah.
And it turns out to be Bail Organa.
Yeah, man.
And he finally convinces Obi-Wan to go to find Leia. And, Obi-Wan still, didn't want to do it, but reluctantly he goes. And so they go to the planet called Dayu.
Oh, yeah.
And right there, I mean, and even then, it's like, I was watching EBN live this morning, and they're saying, like, for them to have Leia be, this, have this attitude, for our 10-year-old, usually 10-year-olds are scared, if they're in a new place, if they're taken hostage by someone, they don't know what to do. And, here's Leia. She's trying to escape using her little Lola droid. And, of course, that gets thwarted by that gang led by Flea.
Yeah.
And then that's when, let's see. Oh yeah, and then he gets that message from Reva saying, "Okay, and she made an interesting comment that caught my eye. It says that talking about Obi-Wan, she said that he fought beside our father during the war, and so it makes me wonder whose father is her, and who did in which war. I mean, of course, what comes to mind is Clone Wars.
Yep.
So that's when we see Obi-Wan going out in the sands. He finds his saber,
Oh, such
and he
an
finds Anakin's saber.
such an epic moment, man. John Williams
Yeah,
was playing on the heartstrings. It
he
was
is.
the subtle hints in there of the Binary Sunset theme song that was playing and everything like that. You
Oh,
always
I love
hear.
that musical score.
Yeah, man.
Did you watch the Star Wars Celebration when they played the
Yes.
entirety? That guy is still a genius
He's in
at
his
90 years
90s and he
old.
can do that. His
Yeah,
90s and he can do it.
and
And
he
just
still got it.
amazing.
Yeah, I
He's one
mean,
of my favorite composers of all time, man. Like
yeah,
him, Hans Zimmer, like, but for God's sakes, he's in his
you
90s and
know.
he's like, hey, I'll do Star Wars and then I'll do Indiana Jones. Why not? Because of me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, comes up with some great musical scores. So
Man.
anyway, so yeah, overall this episode, they knocked this episode out of the park. They really,
Yeah.
I gave it a 9 out of 10, and it was, there's the moments in there with that, okay, that could have done without, but okay, I'm willing to let it slide. But yeah, overall, this was just a great ending or a great series, and it really set the tone,
It was a great
which I
time.
thought, oh yeah. Okay,
Definitely, man.
so
I
definitely,
love it.
what other
Oh, I
thoughts
loved
did
it,
you want to
man.
bring about?
I loved every bit of it, man. Like I
Yeah.
said, just whenever just opening up the box and everything, you just see that, and you're just like, you seem like look at it for a minute, and then you slowly grab down. The music starts playing and everything like that. Classic shot of him like looking up, whether okay, and everything like that, and takes it, puts it back on his belt again, and goes out to you know the shipyard and goes out there. It's like Mel Organa, one more fight, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's great, man. I love the episode from like
Mm-hmm.
beginning to end. I didn't find too many things that bother me. It's just me when it comes to that. I tend to outweigh the good without the bad. And plus,
Right.
I'm
That's
just like
fair enough.
I'm in that area where I'm just like I'm seeing Obi Wan Kenobi for the first time since 2005. Oh my
Oh,
god! So I'm like, I don't care.
there you go. There you go. Exactly. So, yeah, it was just
It was
an
amazing,
awesome
dude.
episode. It was just it pulled at the heartstrings of a lot of Star Wars fans, myself
Yeah,
included. So, then we go to part 2, and so the whole scene is on the planet or on that Daiyu. And when I look at that, how that city is laid out, I'm thinking of cities like Tokyo or Hong
yep,
Kong, or like cities where it's like what happens there stays there. And it's it's pretty much a corrupt city, and so Obi-Wan starts going on his search. He's asking if he's seen his trip, and then you hear this, can you spare a couple credits? And then it's a clone trooper
yep.
from the
Oh man, dude,
501st. And
like
man,
here's on.
and that was Tamura Morrison. He played that.
Yes,
And
he
how
did.
sweet was
He
that?
played it brilliantly, man. Like
He
that
did.
gave me it. I mean, it's in like the reaction of like when we were doing it, we were just like, what? And because automatically it's like, oh my, because you're enjoying it from the audience standpoint because you're seeing Tamora Morrison reprise a role as a clone again, and just seeing that and that armor and everything again, the 501st or Vader's fist by this point, and
Right.
but like just seeing what happens after the inhibitor chip and everything like that, and just how most of them went. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
that when the stormtroopers came in, they just didn't have any use for them and everything, or the Emperor
Oh, I
or
know.
Sidious, and just cast aside. So seeing that, you're just like, man, that's sad. But then you think about the double meaning of that, and you just think, from Obi-Wan's standpoint, as soon as he hears that voice, that has to trigger a memory from the Clone Wars, or he's heard that voice 1,000 times. Like even Cody, his best friend, which I'm still wondering if he'll pop up.
Oh yeah.
But if seeing that, because last time he heard that, he was kind of bolting it. Him and Yoda were kind of taking names at the temple and
Yeah.
everything, Revenge of the
Oh, I
Sith. So
know.
just hearing that, he at first you can get probably like, oh, and but then you're just like, oh man. But it's just,
Yeah.
I love that. I'm so glad he came to do that.
That was so nice. So now he's asking around this gal that offers him, some spices. And it's interesting fun fact here. And I just realized this today. And I was watching Star Wars Theories breakdown of it. That girl was played by Ewan McGregor's daughter.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's right. He does have okay. That's so cool, man.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, his daughter offered him drugs.
How did I miss that? Okay, well, I have to go back
Yeah,
and
I
watch.
mean, yeah, go watch Star
I'm,
Wars Theories
yeah,
breakdown. I mean,
my
he
buddy.
pops it up on there. It's like Ewan McGregor's daughter,
How did I
and I
miss
had
that?
no
That's
idea.
so
Yeah,
cool, man.
I
Like,
was even watching the credits, and I didn't even see it.
yeah, he may have. Again, I don't know. Like he may have, adopted, or that may biological. Either way, that makes me so happy just hearing that. Just now, like that's
Right.
amazing. And it's a double meaning too, because last time, you want to buy some death sticks? You don't want to sell me death sticks. You want to go home and rethink your life. Now it's just a repeat of this, but it's kid playing it.
Right. Yeah. So,
Oh,
anyways, then we see this other kid lead him somewhere, and then there's this guy who's pretending to be a Jedi. His name is Haja. He's
oh
trying
yeah.
he's trying to do all these tricks to get this woman and her son on safe passage to Corellia. And when they said that with your son's special abilities, that made me wonder. It's like, is that kid force sensitive, and why aren't the Inquisitors after him?
Mm-hmm. They might have their hands full, but then but then again, I'm trying to remember if in Fallen Order, whenever Cal crushes the thing that has all the info of that, but still there's more stuff out there of that. But yeah, it was seeing that character at first, I'm not gonna lie, I was like, what in the, I don't know, watching it, and then you're just like, oh man, okay, this guy's a schmuck, this guy's just playing this and stuff like that. Then
Mm-hmm.
Obi-Wan just comes in and just does it, and at first you're like, man, he's using blasters, so uncivilized. But
Mm-hmm.
you quickly
Oh yeah.
wipe it from your brain, because you're like, this has got to be Ben Kenobi. This has got to be this, because if he draws too much attention to that name, that's going to pop up. And plus, he does go by Ben Kenobi until A New Hope, and then he's like, "Oh, of course, no, it's me." But still, just seeing him do that and just completely destroy that guy metaphorically and everything like that, and it's like,
Oh
I
yeah.
forget
And
I
it
forget the
was quite
word he
interesting.
said. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was like,
it was
even
quite
right.
interesting too,
Yeah.
because it's like after the mother and the son went away, and then Obi-Wan goes up there and asks for help. The look on his face, like,
Yes.
oh no, I've
Yeah.
been outed. He's like, okay, how his reaction said it all, that he was that yeah, he was a fraud.
Yeah, man.
But
It was just so
it's
good. It's
interesting
in
though.
there.
He's still willing to help Obi-Wan. He's leads him to this this spice making factory. I mean, even people were saying that's a Breaking Bad style, or
I
that's
thought
yeah,
this. Good job. Nice. Okay. I'm
yeah,
glad I wasn't home. I didn't say anything like out loud, but I was just like, man, okay, we'll see how this goes. But yeah,
yeah,
that,
and so he's
okay.
going off, and now this is another interesting nugget, that one of the guys that Obi-Wan fought off, was the same species as Darth Maul.
Yeah, Zabrak, I did notice that.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool seeing that, and pretty. One, I love seeing his CQC and close quarters combatants and everything. Still somewhat. It took him a minute, but it's still his training. It's still in there. It's just dormant for a little bit. Because you got to like remember where it is. But just seeing that, somewhere in the back part of his back burner, it's like, man, I was tormented by one of these guys for the better part of my life.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to feel really good. Just does one of those numbers and just
he goes Cobra Kai on those two guys. He does. It's like, but yeah, so yeah, but eventually he goes to this room, what appears to be Leia, but none other than a decoy.
Mm-hmm.
That group led by the character played by Flea, they catch him. They appear to have him. They're gonna have him. They call in Reva, but of course Obi-Wan gets away. He uses that spice that he smuggled and gets away. Uses it and blinds them, puts them in a stance, in a stasis.
Yeah. Oh God, that was so priceless and brilliant. I forget. I'm trying to remember. There was a line or something like, because he threatens him something like, something bleeding or something like that. That's funny. Everyone bleeds or something like that, and then drops, that and everything hits the one guy before goes out and looks back and it's like, man, still got it.
Oh yeah, he does. He still has it. So, and then he is led to another room, looking in there, and that's when Leia kicks him in the shin.
Yeah, that's right.
And he's like, "Who?" He has to convince her that she needs to come with him because he knows her father. So she eventually goes there. Of course, Leia, again, her mannerisms and her spunkiness is just reminiscent of Leia that we knew from the original trilogy. And she says, why'd I want to go with an old beat up guy, or someone like that, or anyway. So anyways, Reva is confronted by the Grand Inquisitor and the Fifth Brother, and he learns of her plot, that what she had done was totally out of line, going to the extreme of kidnapping a senator's son, which according to them, that was off limits.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can just see that the tension is just amping up. Her hostility toward the Inquisitors are just it's coming to a boil.
Yeah.
And he has to put her in her place.
Yeah. Seeing stormtroopers on that planet, being led by I don't know if it's the Fifth Brother. I think I could be wrong.
Yeah, I thought it was the Fifth Brother.
Okay, I'm glad. There's a lot of brothers and fifth brothers and cousins and stuff, but I don't know how they do the naming in that little system that they do. But anyways, yeah, like I remember seeing that and like the stuff on the side and everything, like the different species and like little Easter eggs, and stuff like that, and just whenever that happened with her and the Grand Inquisitor and stuff like that. And the Fifth Brother and everything like that, and it's like we'll take it from here. You're relieved, like that, and you're just like, okay, we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, and then we also get a little backstory of hers saying that she did not have a good upbringing. He even says you came from the gutter.
That's
and
right.
You will be dealt with, and so usually when they say that kind of line, that means they're taking her to Vader for execution.
Yeah, Lord Vader does not play games when it comes to stuff like that. Like I say, if you've seen the books, you know what he does to Inquisitors and how he whips them into shape like a drill instructor. Just a deadly one.
Yep. So then, Reva, she's undeterred. She
Mhm.
sends out a message to everybody in the city, all the bounty hunters, and anyone who's willing to, you know, she's offering a reward for the capture of Obi Wan Kenobi.
Mhm.
And so Obi Wan and Leia are trying to get on the ship. He says, "Okay, if anyone asks who you are, we'll say,
Yeah.
you're my father." And she goes, "What? More like my grandfather." Such a Leia thing to say.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, that
But
was a
yeah,
fun exchange.
of course, they're chased by the bounty hunters and other
Mhm.
people that are in through there. Um, and then one of the bounty hunters is captured, I believe, by the third or the other sister.
Yeah, they got a lot of names.
Yeah. So yeah, she's caught by one of the other sister. He's caught, and the Grand Inquisitor is informed of what Reva had just done, and so he's
Mhm.
now she's really in hot water.
Yeah.
And I thought there was a nice touching moment there,
Mhm.
on their way to before the finale when Obi-Wan was looking at Leia, and how he says, "You remind me of someone I knew."
Oh
And
man, that hit me.
yeah, that hit me too when he said, it's like yeah, she was a fearless leader and
It
stubborn.
was, yeah,
And
man.
and of course someone said that, "Oh no, he's talking about Ahsoka." And I'm like, no, 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 no,
No,
no, no,
man.
it's Padme. It
Oh,
is Padme.
yeah, because the last time he seen her, Mustafar, and well, Polis Mox to be technical, but still, that was a sad moment and everything like that. Just seeing
Hmm.
that, and real, not just saying that, but it's like, yeah, you remind me of someone, and bam, you actually talk about her mother and everything like that. And actually, the first time her being brought up and everything like that, to even that is a powerful moment, just not for like performances and stuff like that, but like the story moment where you get the double meaning and everything like that. Like, wow, this is the first time you're actually mentioning Padme and
Yeah.
everything like that, and you're like, oh my god, and
Oh,
you
I
see
know.
the pain on his face and stuff like that, and just remembering and stuff, and you're just like, man. But yeah, it's very good parallels. I
Very.
enjoyed that.
It was wonderful. So between Leia and Obi-Wan trying to get on a freight, there's
Mhm.
other action sequence. Now, I thought that there was a lot better action in this episode than the first one,
Mhm.
with all the bounty hunters trying to find her. Leia's running away. She finds out that there's a bounty on Obi-Wan. She takes off. She climbs to the top of this building, and she jumps off a roof and grabs a wire, and she's losing her grip, and then it's forcing Obi-Wan to use the Force to help her, to prevent her from falling to her death.
Yep.
And and you could tell he was rusty at this, because he was
Used
struggling
it.
to hold her.
Yeah, he hasn't used it in a while. He whenever he did it, and again, John Williams being the brilliant person that he is, it's very subtle, but it's in there. You hear like dun, 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 and when he does that, you're like,
Hmm.
everything like that, because saving, that, just another one of, Anakin's kids and everything, trying to do, do the right thing and everything like that. And you're just like,
Oh yeah.
man, and like, you hardly are a Jedi and everything like that. And you're
Yeah.
just like, oh man, because all this,
Yeah.
it's good, but it's causing him pain and everything like that. But eventually, of course, he does get to the Alec Guinness thing, but it has to be pretty surreal.
Yeah, yeah, it was definitely surreal. So on that, but in between all that, it's like we got Riva. She's on this rooftop, trying to find, all any actions where the gunfire is. And then
Oh
it's
yeah,
like you see her jumping off buildings, acting like she's Batman. So I mean, let's just call it that. I mean, she was like thinking she's Batman, and of course, she knows how to use the Force, and so she can, you know, easily thing that easy thing for an Inquisitor to do.
oh yeah. She's she's definitely athletic. when it comes to that. And I watched the because again on that I went back and watched like the opening before Order 66 and stuff, and the certain movements that they were doing and everything like that with Terrace Kasi and certain stuff. So not just for her mind abilities and stuff like that, but I think just that's still there for doing that. And of course, through passion you gain strength, through strength you gain power, and all that sort of stuff, and you just amplify everything like that. So she's clearly obsessed with finding Obi-Wan, and for some reason, but yeah, seeing that you're just like, wow. And the shots of the gunfire going back and forth and back and forth, which again is crazy seeing Obi-Wan do it, because can you think about it? So uncivilized, everything like
Oh
that was
yeah.
just grievous. But
And now
like,
he has to use it.
he has to literally, unless he wants to whoop out his lightsaber and be found out who he is, which he can't do. Just he can't do it.
No, he can't. So anyway, so yeah, so she's still trying to find them. Fortunately, Haja is there, just getting Reva's way, but then she comes in there, and we can see her force ability, and for sake of bad reference, she pulls a Kylo Ren, tries to
Yeah.
use the force
I
to
don't
get
get that
Reva's mind.
reference, but yeah, I get I get that, but he does like a Darth Maul type. She does a Darth Maul like thing on him and everything like that. Yeah, it's crazy, right? Yeah, to
Yeah.
see that, and you're like, man. So she pulls the info out and everything like that, and that's it for him. But yeah, and unfortunately, rest in peace, Red Hot Chili Peppers guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Killed by the Grand Inquisitor.
Yes.
So, and which we will get to here. So again, she's just determined to find Obi-Wan. They're at the loading dock, and then the Grand Inquisitor comes by and says, "You are officially done." And so he said, "Okay, I'm taking over this search for Kenobi. Watch how it's done." And then she pulls a surprise attack on him, and sticks her saber into the Grand Inquisitor. Now, do you think he is dead?
I got a couple things to this, because at the time I was like, wait, what? And I was like, no, Charlie, stop and think about this. Just enjoy what's going on right now, then you can think about this later. And then I remembered, I was like, well, clearly we all know he can't die because rebels.
Exactly.
And also, this is how bad I studied stuff like this. Utapauans have like two stomachs. And
yeah, I heard that.
And so that, and plus, you remember the dark side you're talking about, or even just the tiniest little bit that Vader would give to him. The more matter you get, remember what happened with Maul. He was so mad he refused to die.
Right.
And same thing with Anakin Vader, or Vader, when he was on Mustafar, he was so angry he refused to die. So that could be one of those things. Or again, if that one does go, and then Jason Isaacs comes in, and then because maybe there's again, I know a lot of people were just like, what? And me included, but I was okay, just stop.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that they were retconning Rebels.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think Dave Filoni or George would
the
be
irony
happy.
about it. The irony about it is that Rebels was created by Disney, so go figure. So
yeah, I don't think he's I think he just needs a Band-Aid. Either that, or the real one will come in. We hear Jason Isaacs like, that's why he did that. It makes okay. That's fine. But either way, yeah, that was quite a surprise. But man, yeah, that, and then the reveal, which was possibly one of my favorite things of that, and just hearing, and also seeing the performance of it as well, where Reva's mouthing off and everything like this, and Obi-Wan, he actually looks like he's getting ready to pull his lightsaber out and use it for the first time, which you're like, oh boy. And but just she's like, blah blah, don't want to kill you, want to take him to him. And you're like, the audience, us, you're like, oh. And like that, and you're just like, oh, that's right. Obi-Wan doesn't know yet.
Yeah.
And you
Now I
can't.
had a problem with that here
Sure.
because it's like, I mean, just of all the people, for one thing, how would she know about that secret? Because no one knew about that except for
For
uh, Yoda,
Palpatine, Sidious,
Palpatine.
and
eh,
Tarkin, and possibly
Yeah,
Thrawn.
exactly. And so,
The
how would she figure that out? Because if that was revealed, and if either Sidious or Vader had fig- if anybody knew about their secrets, well,
she would
that
be
secret
dead.
was going to their, she'd be dead
Mhm. The
again. And
thing.
so, and I was hoping that Obi-Wan would have found out when he actually met Vader, not knowing that it was Vader until something happens where
Mm,
he figures it out.
yes.
So I think
The
they kind of
Yeah.
did that a little too premature in my opinion.
Yeah. The thing for me for that, because that's one of my favorite person, favorite character, the chosen one, is again, I go back and I'm just like, okay, so wait a minute, stop and think, Charlie. Because again, I was like, same thing. I was like, wait a minute, what? Okay, whatever. And I was like, so if we're going off the thing of if she was somehow again, if she was a Padawan, if she was rescued, or even if she was, she clearly was in Operation Nightfall. Order 66. Vader marching on the temple. Then she could have seen, well, a lot of people seeing what was going on in there because it wasn't great. So she was a Padawan at the time, in there. Even if she's seen, because he went directly after that. Besides the Master Skywalker, there are too many of them. What are we going to do?
Hmm.
That, and but he was still there wrecking things. So if she gets captured there, sees that, puts two and two together. We'll see, unless you know it's another thing I try not to look too much into because I'm pretty sure they'll explain it. Because yeah,
Right.
unless Vader's a very complex character in the fact that, and it's just like the big reveal. He hates Anakin, even though it's a whole dual thing. He hates everything internally and externally when it comes to Anakin. He wants to expunge that from everything.
Right.
And the second even that comes up, I think that'll be addressed. But yeah, we'll see how she knows that, and hopefully she doesn't bring that up in front of him, or maybe she somehow found that out. Because again, there was a book out there, Dark Lord: Rise of Lord Vader, where a character called Roan Shrine knew. Vader revealed it to him about being
Right.
the lost 21 of the order and everything like that. So it wouldn't be out of the possibility that they pull one of those where, you know if he's training her, takes sort of like an interest where he's like, I can use you or something like this and everything like that,
Mm.
or fear tactics and stuff like that. We'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
that got me to a little bit. But we'll see.
It did yeah, that kind of, and that bothered a lot of the fans of that when that was revealed. So, but then we finally get to the final cut, or Obi-Wan boards the ship and he just whispers out Anakin, and then it cuts to Vader in the bacta tank, and it wakes
Yes.
him up.
Just hearing
So
the name Anakin, boom, light
yeah,
bulb goes off, and just you see the not just the Sith, regular eyes like the Inquisitors, but also red and everything
yeah,
like that. So just him waking up and just hearing that is an amazing transition of this, like, oh, okay, well, Lord Vader's awake now. Okay, well, things are about to get real.
oh
Um,
yeah, it is.
so
So it was.
I love it, man.
So yeah, so yeah. I mean, like I said, it was. Yeah, it wasn't too bad. It was okay. Like I said, I wasn't I for some reason I just wasn't feeling the episode personally,
Mhm.
but it's everybody's got their own interests and everybody's got their own um, takes on whatnot. But again, it was a much lower ranking for me as far as um, compared to the first episode, which
Yeah.
I don't think they knocked this episode out of the park.
Mhm. It's
So,
yeah, it's
but so far, what are you liking so far with
dude.
based on these two episodes as a whole?
Honestly, man, I'm loving every bit of it.
Oh yeah,
Not that there's not little small things, but again, I take the hot stuff over everything else because me personally, I've been waiting on this series since 2009 when they first
right.
announced something like this would even happen, even before the buyout and everything.
Hmm.
And then, of course, poor Ewan had to keep that on the back burner, not tell anybody or a soul that was even going to happen for the longest period of time.
Yeah,
And just no, I've been waiting for this for a long time, so I'm pretty sure and pretty fascinated. I've just been waiting on this because again, this series, Andor, of course, but still, this one's the one where I'm like, this is main characters of some of the my favorite characters and everything. Anakin Vader, Obi Wan Kenobi. You, these are my favorites. So I mean,
hmm oh yeah.
I'm a
So
pay attention. I don't care too much about the side characters too much. I won't let it bother me. I just
right,
those are my because you have to get to the point of Alec Guinness and Vader just being this savage and finally trying to we know as the audience not going to snuff out Anakin. That's just not going
yeah,
to happen. Luke comes in, reawakens that, but just for him trying to expunge everything that's in there, and it's going to be really fascinating to see that because from what Hayden has said, about what's going to happen and like his power and everything like that, and trying to find ways of deleting that. I'm all about it, man. I can't wait to see
yeah.
more of this
Oh
show.
yeah,
Really.
me neither. So, well, we won't have to wait. I mean, depending on what time zone you live in. So I'm on the West Coast, so it's like I'll be able to watch it Tuesday night at 9 o'clock. So,
Hmm.
mhm.
Yeah. Unfortunately, thankfully I don't have to work on those nights because I have to step until about 3 o'clock. I'm in that area,
Right.
and to do that, but hopefully they release it early like they did, so I can mostly get a little bit more rest and
Yeah.
everything for the next day. But
Hmm.
yeah, it's I'm loving it, man. I really
No,
am.
that's great. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it. Yeah. So we'll just uh, we'll just see what's in store for us come this next episode. So, Charlie, thank you so
Dude,
much for
thank you,
coming on
man.
this show and for doing this.
Sure.
And so I just was say thank you guys for watching. Everybody, thanks. Please like, subscribe, and share this video out. And I'll say I'm the Cobra Disney Jedi, saying that when life gets you down, always get back up, flip the script, and go seek adventure. Take care.